Hi! So before I start recording my weekly videos for all of the signs, I decided to do a part 2 for August 18th, 2016. So full moon reading part 2. Perhaps one's a waxing, one's a waning. I'm not sure why I feel like there needs to be a part 2, but I'm just gonna do it. So I changed environments. I'm here with Buddy and Elvis. I have some new cards, and let's do a reading. Remember, it's a general reading, so see what feels right for you. See which signs, symbols, bells, whistles, energies, messages resonate for you and bring you clarity to what you're wondering, concern, confused, inquiring, dreaming, praying about. We're all children of God, and we're all psychic, so see what feels right for you. It could be one nugget that brings you clarity, or it could be the whole reading. See what feels right for you. It could be the part 1, or sometimes messages make sense later, you know? So in the end, always use your logic and your intuition together to make sound decisions that are based in love for the highest and greatest good of everybody involved in the situation, and so on. So we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you. Remember, how you ride these energetic waves that come through is up to you in the end. Is that wave going to crash into you? Are you going to dive under the wave? Or are you going to ride with the wave? Are you going to take a picture of the wave? Is that your wave? Is it not your wave? It's always up to you in the end. So see how it feels. And perhaps if you want to draw cards with me and make this an interactive video, that would be cool. See if you get anything different. See if you get more messages that are personal for you. Cool, let's begin. I'm going to start with the Past Life Oracle deck here. Let's see what we have for August 18th, 2016, and or time around the full moon. Let's see what God's source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels, and energies of love have for the day, for the highest and greatest good of everybody involved, for all of us. Let's see if we have one card to bring focus and clarity. Farm. Farm! I feel like I came to the right environment now. I grabbed the right set of cards. Hey, look at you guys are famous. Look at you're on the card. This is you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your presence. Your beautiful, big, divine presence that these horses have. By the way, if you have horses, I'm sure you understand how special they are. I feel like they have a special connection with humans. So perhaps some of you have horses, perhaps some of you have animals in general, and you're just feeling the love of taking care of another beautiful being of God, you know? Except I feel like with animals, their love is always unconditional. They always just love us, no matter how we smell, what kind of day we had. They just love us, you know? And they rely on us, and they trust us, you know? They trust us to bring them hay, and to make sure they have clean water, and, you know, that they're walked if you have a dog, or their litter box is changed if you have a cat. It's paying attention to your little furry and fluffy and feathery animals, your scaly animals even, you know, and making sure that they're taken care of, because what they bring us is unconditional love. What they bring us is something really special. And I feel like sometimes you don't really know until you have one of your own. So perhaps some of you don't have animals and you're not into this conversation. You don't really know what I'm getting at. They smell, their poop is weird, you don't want to pick it up, and they're a lot of responsibility. You know, sometimes they come into our world when we don't expect it, and it's the best thing that ever happens to us. I want to say sort of like a weird little baby, you know? Perhaps if you don't have animals, you're thinking of a farm, or you're thinking of getting an animal, or just out into nature, you know, farming, getting in the land, you know, having a garden. Maybe next year or soon you're going to try to have a garden, you know, to learn something about nature and our part in nature, you know, how we work with nature and the earth to heal the earth. You know, it's important to remember these guys. I want to say that I mean, they're a blessing anyway, but I know that with horses, they're connected to nature, and we are connected to nature. So we're both built for the earth. You know, unlike maybe a car or a plane or a train. I'm going somewhere with this. I am, trust me. When you're on a horse or a camel or a donkey, you get the idea. And say we need to go in the forest, and 2 years later a bunch of trees grew in the path, or trees fell down because of lightning. The horses can get over them, around them, through them. They can adapt with the environment as the environment changes around us. So nature teaches us about adapting. It teaches us about seasons. It teaches us lessons about living here with the earth. Sometimes, you know, there's so much, I want to say like electronic fantasy, virtual reality land around us, we forget about the real land around us, the real beings around us. I want to say Pokemon for some reason. That thing is weird. I didn't know that existed, by the way. You know, those things aren't real, and I feel like there's so much magic. If you take your attention back into actual nature, then you might have some real powers that you can work with here, rather than releasing your power to fantasy land. Come back to nature, guys. Come back to where the truth is. Come back to where it teaches you. Come back to where we're connected. We're meant to learn our lessons here. You know, a little fantasy is okay here and there, but don't get lost in fantasy. The truth is here. All right, let's go to the Hanson-Roberts deck and see what we get for more clarity on the farm, connecting with nature, connecting with the nature within ourselves even. All right, one card. Check this out. The Nine of Cups. So perhaps your wishes come true when you connect yourself back to where you came to. This is abundance. This is wishes coming true. Things you never believed that could happen can happen today. Unless you're looking at it the wrong way and you're not seeing things clearly and seeing the abundance and the beautiful things that are actually around us that we can experience in our environment every day that we have. This is the genie in a bottle, so you have to look at this both ways. If your wish is for your ego and not really for your heart, for your soul, for your own truth, your own growth, then what you get back is, what I want to say, what is glitter is not gold. Like, what you get back is not of value. What you get back is not abundant. It doesn't grow. It just is stagnant. It's something that stays there, and it actually gets heavier in the end. This card is not that. If you're coming from the right place, this card is abundance and magic and beauty blossoming around you. Abundant love. It's a 9. It brings you completion. It brings you to where you want to go when you realize that you have it right now. I want to say, when I see this card, to go ahead and peacock yourself a little bit. Show off a little bit with this card. You know, express what you really want, what you really desire. Make sure you're coming from a place of truth where you're uplifting not only yourself, but you're bringing others with you. You know, not exactly that you have to bring them with you on your journey, your path, your goal, your particular star, but for them to find their own, to make it okay for them to find their own path, their own truth. You know, I want to say share the wealth with this card. You know, I want to say share the wealth with knowledge in this card for some reason. If you're keeping knowledge to yourself and you're the only means for someone to have a solution with, that's being selfish with that solution and creating a clutch to the other person to need you, and therefore your intention to help is not from a place of truth. If you're coming from a place where you're teaching and you're offering knowledge that you have, whether or not you're perfect with that knowledge or not, you're offering a perspective, and you're offering openness for them to have their own perspective, their own means of growth, their own means to learn something on their own, to have abundance on their own, to grow with this completion in love. you know? I want to say love overflowing here. When it overflows, you don't need to keep it to yourself because there's enough for all of us. You know, if you let it overflow in your life and you give to others, they overflow it in their life and they give to others. And it just comes back around better for everybody. So I want to say perhaps, you know, question your motives in this. Make sure your wishes help everybody in the situation so that everybody can have abundance. It doesn't have to be with the same thing you want. It could be something totally different. Perhaps they're inspired by something you have that you're good at, your talent, you know, your idea, your inspiration, your art. Inspire somebody, you know? Perhaps they're going to start to do something like you, but then they're going to add something new to it that brings them closer to their own truth. So I want to say perhaps in this card, I want to say like there's almost like a flattery, or be thankful and grateful if somebody is inspired by you. Perhaps in the beginning it starts by doing the same thing, but it allows them growth to make it something new that becomes them. So we can all grow, you know? All right, let's continue with the Art of Life Tarot. So let's do another card. This is wishes coming true. You know, just, you have to be conscious of them so they can happen. And so you experience the wish and don't let it pass you by. You know, you bring others along with you, or nudge them to find their own in some cases. All right, another card for clarity. The Hermit. So nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. All right, and the painting here is solitude, watching the horizon at sunset in the hope of seeing a vessel. Tristan d'Acunha in South Atlantic Detail by Augustus Earle, 1824. National Library of Australia, Canberra, Australia. All right, so sometimes chaos is all around us. You know, are you involved in the drama? Do you experience the drama? Do you take yourself out of the drama? Do you learn from the drama? Do you find solitude by going back into yourself to know what's right for you? You know, perhaps this is alone time. Perhaps this is a Virgo energy in the day. It could be an earthy sign. It's somebody who's not afraid to go out by themselves and learn what's good for them. And eventually you're a light to others because you found the light in yourself first. I'm going to pull one more card from this. The Philip and Stephanie Cargome, the Druid Animal Oracle deck, illustrated by Bill Worthington. And with this deck, I do have to read the pamphlet, the literature, because the meanings are very different and I want to stay true to them. So let's see what we have. One card to bring further clarity to our day, the full moon. And you have the crane. All right, so let's see what we have. Hold on. All right, the key words are secret knowledge, patience, and longevity. Core brings the qualities of patience, perseverance, focus, and concentration, standing for hours, peering into the water until the time comes to dart at its prey. It guards others into the underworld to help them with their transition at the time of dying, or with their journeying to the inner realms. Besides the ability to work in the underworld, the crane symbolizes arcane science or secret knowledge, which in the Druid tradition is represented by Quingam script, the tree language of Druidity. It's in its wildest sense. Learning this language involves learning to read the book of nature. This is reversed. The crane stands alone for hours, but it will only join others to fly or dance. The crane reversed will also signify the need to find balance between being alone and being with others. Spending too much time alone can create a feeling of isolation. Having no time to oneself can be an avoidance of self-knowledge and loneliness. The shadow side of the crane manifests its harshness, meanness, and a nagging, complaining disposition, like the Virgo. If this describes you, try to relate to a deeper aspect of the crane in which becomes animal of the goddess as crone to wise woman, the high priestess.